All right, we are live and you are all set to go when you're ready, Doug.
All right, we have the application from last month, 2021-24.
I'm personally inclined to say no.
I agree with Bob. I'm inclined to say no as well.
It's Christian.
Probably can't get in.
It's locked out.
Where do you stand on
Still no.
it? How about you?
I'm fine with it.
Are we deadlocked again?
Well, Christian's on his way.
Heather, if you can hear me, the doors are still locked. I
Hey,
don't know if
Christian.
we can do anything about that.
I will have Becky check on that. Thank you.
Thank you.
We're going over application 2021-24 from last one.
Wait, I can't
All right, doors are all set. Thanks.
hear.
Okay,
Thank you, Heather.
I mean, I was fine with it,
It was tabled last month, so.
but right, but I wasn't here.
Right.
It's
It's not tabled from October. It's, I'm okay talking.
Yeah.
about it. Okay.
I have some reservations about it.
I do too.
Honestly, what was submitted, sorry, I'm talking to the mic here. What was submitted, for one thing, it looks like the instrument survey, the second one that was submitted, it's not proportionate. It's not the correct sizing, that the rectangle for the 40 by 25 building. Based on the scale for the picture, it's actually larger than that. It's actually, the outline is basically like a 30-foot by 22, but it's actually, if they want a 40 by 25, it's actually wider, or it goes deeper into the leach field. Plus also the spacing between the corner of the house and the corner of the structure. It says 14 feet on here, but it actually measures by the instrument survey is only being like 8 feet. So it's not an accurate rendition of what they want. Plus also the existing shed is not the same size as what is on the instrument survey either. Plus also the what they submitted is what they want to build is not a 40 by 25 structure. It's what was like a 30 by
22.
yeah, it was not, it's still not accurately showing what they want to do with that. Was sort of what the final product would look like.
Well, the other thing, well, we're going to hear more about this, but the other thing to me is that it's in a spot in front of the neighbor's house, directly in front of the neighbor's house. And although there are other facilities in this area that have large garages detached, none of them, from what I could see, were directly in front of the neighbor's houses. They were all backing up to farm field or wooded land.
That's my big sticking point as well, is that
Anyhow,
location.
Oh,
Yep.
we haven't heard from the neighbor,
haven't heard from a neighbor. We did hear from one neighbor,
not that neighbor.
not that neighbor. You're accurate. Either way, I'm against it.
Yeah, I stand against it.
Then
Oh.
one of you need to be prepared to move to deny, because I would move to approve.
If possible.
Fine.
You want to write it, I'll second it.
That's fine. But again, we got to hear it again. I want to ask
Yeah.
some more questions.
Yeah, I want to hear everything first, but I'm at this point, I'm against it as well.
Okay, 125.
My general feeling on the extra signage is negative. I know there's others, we grade them independently, and my general feeling is negative. Plus, it's facing Home Depot.
Drove past it and I guess there were a couple trees there. They've been removed. They're not there anymore. There is right now a hanging sign, a small little, kind of like a shingle sign that's hanging there, which wouldn't be able to stay if they get the one wall sign for the frontage that they want.
Yep.
But I think that it would be redundant that having one and then another one so close. So-
Kristen, just so you know, that those little, each tenant has one of those little signs across the front. We don't issue permits for those. Those are more like a direction. I understand what they got their names on them.
Mhm.
But we have not brought those in for any kind of variances or even permits. They're just
Okay.
along the sidewalk. As you're walking down, you get to see where you're going. So
It's like something that the plaza does for kind of a look, okay,
Yeah.
I got you, okay.
Correct.
Yeah, because I never noticed any other ones before.
yeah.
I don't shop at that plaza very often. but-
And the other point I would make is if this was on a corner lot with a street there, they'd be allowed one on each
Face.
face.
And to be fair, when I was driving, actually I drove past it tonight on the way here. Bye Bye Baby at the other end has signage both in the front and on the side facing
Is there on
Clay
the
Road.
Yeah. And so does AT&T.
AT&T, okay. I mean,
And we saw some of those things. I personally still judge it independently, and I want to hear the stuff, but my inclination is no.
Right now, I have no issue with it, but I would like to hear more information about it before I were to decide one way or another.
Okay, 126.
Well, there's 126, 27, 28.
28.
And there's a handful of questions here. And we also have a handful of opposition that's come in from the neighborhood surrounding. But I have a couple of questions and probably have to be testimony from this. Kevin, are the other houses around it zoned similarly?
So that whole area used to be R115, 15,000 square foot lot size. That's why Pacer, Trot, they're all small lots. A couple years ago, we changed zoning to RR. And it obviously requires the 5 acres if you have sewer or water, public sewer or public water. If both are, if your lots are served by both, then it's the 2 acres.
certified or they actually have to have it in? Because right now that
Code
property.
says if the lot is served by water, public water and sewer and sewer, then you can have 2 acre lots are permitted.
But right now that property is not sewer, it's septic.
The existing house is on septic, correct? So
But there's sewer in the street, right? In Pacer?
I don't know where the sewer line is. I'm assuming it comes down Pacer from Pinnacle. I don't know. We'd have to ask the applicant if the existing house is going to be tapped into that as well. I'm assuming the septic is within that 0.7 acre proposed lot. So,
I would assume that too. So those are all questions. There's a lot of questions.
yeah, if they're gonna keep the septic, I think technically they would need a variance for 0.748 for where 5 acres would be required because.
And the whole property is on 5 acres.
4 point, yeah, 4 point.
Right.
All right.
It's like
So,
4.4, something like that.
I have a lot of questions on this for the applicant. I am truly up in the air. And I have no,
Again, if it was just a couple years ago, they could
They
have
could have
put
done
six, they could have put 6 houses in there.
yep,
Or-
no question.
you know
relative.
what I mean?
Changed, was it
So-
2005 it changed, I think? There was something about
Whenever the year,
prior to July. of
actually, I think that
2005.
area changed more recently.
I understand 2 years ago when they rezoned.
Oh, the rezone 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay, so,
Yeah.
I might be 3, but it was.
We did a
As long as
large zoning change in 05, and then there was a recent one like 2 years ago.
okay, because the code still said
Character
2005.
of the
in it, but-
neighborhood, though, shows that it's smaller lots than even what they're proposing. So,
By a lot. So I'm actually not opposed to this one in initial thoughts, but I want to hear more about this.
Clarify though, the topic that was brought up by the dissenting email that we received today was that the lots don't have sewer.
That's what
Is
we're,
it that it has to be on site or does it have to be accessible to sewer?
In order to have it, to require the 2 acres,
Because right now, none of the sites are connected to sewer, but there's sewer right across the street.
I think what I understood, Doug, and I did some digging, not enough, but I did some digging, that if if they break it up into parts and we allow it, and the new site allows or has accessibility to sewer, which I believe it does, Chris said, I understand Chris said it does, that the builder who's gonna put something on there is required through their permitting process
right?
to tap in.
Okay.
So even though it's not there's no line there right now, that is part of the requirement, is my understanding, to get the permit approved.
Yeah, if they're proposing to use septic, then it would be for 1.9 acre lot on a 5 acre lot,
But
where 5 is required.
But again, my understanding, and we need to check this, but my understanding is sewer is accessible.
There's sewer and Pacer.
Yeah, sewer and public water are both
So they can.
available for these lots.
They can, right.
That's what you're, yeah.
even though the house actually is on the market right now, it's on Zillow.
Well, they put it in the paperwork that they sent us today.
Yes, I saw that too. I saw it before that. I got the paperwork from Heather, but yeah. It's already being advertised as a 0.7 acre lot.
Well, that might be
It's
wrong.
lot number
That's for the
3.
existing house. There's
Yeah,
three-
Right,
there's
yeah, I'm
three
just saying that it's-
applications.
It's being advertised for something that doesn't exist yet.
So. I forget which one's which, so I'm trying
Lot
to,
number 3 is 0.7.
yeah, 128,
The one that put the house
application
on
128
0.7.
is not 0.7 right now, right? It's actually part of the 4.4 acres, and they're.
It is the 4.4 acres, correct.
They're asking for it to be 0.7 acre or whatever that number is in application 128.
Right.
Well, this is preliminary, this is the preliminary. one.
Yeah.
Correct.
So I think I personally believe we have to hear from my decision.
I'm on the fence with this one. I need to hear more.
And there could be other options too. We could say break it into 2.
Yeah, it's a possibility.
Depends on certain things.
One 129.
Which one is this? I'm completely fine with this. I welcome it.
Yeah, it's gonna replace an eyesore.
Yeah, with this one, I had no real issue with, the only thing that caught my eye was when it talked about an additional 15 feet plus or minus of wide grass area within the right of way will be maintained. That way the 20-foot wide
Yeah, that
landscape.
doesn't count.
Why?
Like, this in here, can we put that as a condition of the variance if they have to do that? They're saying they're going to do it.
A
That's
requirement
in the
of
county,
maintenance, is
that's
that
in
what
the
you're-
county right away, isn't it?
That's the county right away though.
Is that the county right of way?
My understanding, because it's on Henrietta Road.
It said that they had to acquire when they widened the road.
The reason that this is there is because the road got widened and, or at least is what I understand. And therefore that ate into their usable space. Is what I understand.
That's the way I read it too.
That's why I'm against this one, just so you guys know, because it's right across the street from residential. And I think it does deserve the full buffer that the code allows.
That's what I'm trying, that's what I'm trying.
Which, maybe I'm mistaking what we're looking at then.
Yeah, I had.
There was a
I-
question about on the,
Which side? The east side or are you saying the north side?
Right across the street from the entrance.
Which entrance? This one or
That
that
one. No, the other one, where the landscape mall is reduced.
across on Lehigh
I
Station.
thought they were
Road,
talking
there's
about here,
houses.
No, I think they're talking about up
but it says
above.
landscape mall right here and
No,
Yeah,
It's
I
on
read
Lehigh
everything
Station.
about it.
The lower right, that's West Henrietta Road.
Yeah, I guess I just misunderstood. I may misunderstand.
Along the Lehigh Station Road front property line,
Up here, right?
up there. Yeah.
Oh, I stand corrected. I apologize.
I must have misread this.
I actually agree with that theory.
Can you repeat what you said, Doug? I just want to.
It's just right here in the application. Landscape area will be installed along the Lehigh Station Road front property line right away.
What was your?
Right, the
Operating
the
across.
landscape buffer is to protect against buffering against residential neighborhoods, and there's a residential neighborhood right across the street. So in my opinion, they should be made to adhere to the code for this particular issue.
Yeah, I agree. You know what, I think like you, I looked at the wrong landscape model. when
So did I.
read this. But I agree with you, Doug.
Well, I want to hear it still through my.
Yeah.
I
wanna
want to
hear
hear
it too.
more about this and what happened.
And I definitely like the idea of something going in there, but yeah, you're right. I want there to be enough of a buffer with residences across the street from there.
If it was in my neighborhood, I'd be paying attention to that. The flip side of that is there's some pretty ugly stuff right around the corner anyway, so we should.
Okay, the next application is the tabled application.
We're gonna hear about that, right?
Yeah, these ladies. See what they say about that. I'm honestly opposed to any front loading docks in general. Want to hear what they have to say, but you know, it looks like there's other loading docks in the back. I don't know why they can't all be in the back.
Well, there is some explanation for it, although I want to hear it.
Oh, yeah, me too. That's what I want to hear.
And then the last application is 131.
Yeah, this one was pretty straightforward. I was able to talk to the resident. So what's going on there is originally there were concrete steps there. They got cracked, and from weather conditions, contractor thought they were fixable. They turned out not to be. So they were taken down. So what the resident wants is, you know, a safe entryway into and out of the home. It's a pretty minor variance. I don't think it's going to affect the neighbors at all. So I had no real concern about it.
It is substantially bigger though, as compared to just a replacement of them.
It is substantially bigger. In terms of a variance of 62-foot front setback instead of the 70 foot, I didn't think was all that significant. But what the resident did mention is without an attached garage, that is how they plan to haul things in and out, which was part of why they want the porch space.
Okay.
Which
Yeah,
makes sense to me.
We had that same one on Highland Drive that we were thinking. Yeah.
I'm not necessarily opposed to that.
No, no, I get your point.
A lot of them they do, and they go from a small thing that
Mhm.
deteriorated, and they put something in there, a little wooden deck that gives them enough room to turn around.
And it is worth knowing, when I spoke to the resident, she mentioned that she is a county sheriff and might have trouble getting on Zoom tonight. Might have to do it by phone.
Thank you for that.
Okay, anything else on the applications? Other, we're all shot with workshop.
All right, I'll shut it down.
Thank you.
Thanks.